So it is time for my June TBR. June will be a month full of a lot of reading. I will not have a job after like approaching mid-June. I will no longer have a job. So that's a long aside that I won't get into right now. But I will have a lot of time for reading and trying to find another job. So we'll just at least have that as a positive, that I'll have a lot of reading time. So I'm gonna start this TBR with the game that Amy and Kim play, which is always super fun. The live shows are always just a grand time. And so I'm on the Centaurs, I'm on Amy and her mom's team, and so our prompts for this month, again, I'll link the live show or some sort of information below so that you can get more information on what I'm talking about, because I'm not going to go into detail here. But the prompts we got were a book set in the future. So I think the main one that I want to go for here is Goliath by Tochi Onyebuchi, and this one is super intriguing. Set in the future, I think 2050s. You know, we have been able to go, is it to the moon or to other planets? But basically the rich are the ones who are able to get off planet, and the poor are forced to stay on planet where climate change is wreaking havoc. So this is definitely gonna be right up my alley. And the next prompt was have someone else pick a book for you, just any book. And so you'll just have to trust me. I didn't film this, but I did ask Matt for him to pick me out a book. I told him that, you know, if he wanted to be nice and have it be from my shelf, that was great, but he could also just pick anything he wanted and anything he might want me to read that maybe I wouldn't pick up myself. That's what he ended up doing. He ended up picking The Day of the Jackal. This is by Frederick Forsyth, and this is something he's read, really enjoyed. It's a spy, Secret Service, assassin type story. He said it was super fun. We do have a lot of overlap in taste, so I'm hoping I will really enjoy this one as well. But yeah, this was on his shelf and one that he thought I might not necessarily pick up, but thought that I would enjoy. So there is an audiobook, so that's a plus. So that's what I'll use for that prompt. The next one is a nonfiction. I'll probably finish How Not to Die, because I still need to finish part of that. So I'll probably do that. The next prompt was a random continent generator, and of course I picked Antarctica. So we need to read a book set in Antarctica, and there actually are a decent handful, and it can be a nonfiction, it can be a fiction set or just a nonfiction about Antarctica, and maybe an expedition that has gone there or a research mission that's gone there. So, you know, there are some options, and maybe I'll fulfill this one. I think Where'd You Go, Bernadette is an option that at least partially takes place in Antarctica, so we'll see what happens there. We then got a random country generator, so interesting. Lots of random picks in terms of, you know, having a generator pick something for us. So they thought that it would be fun to pick 3 countries, and then we could have one, you know, read a book set in one of those 3 countries. So the countries we got were Fiji, Guinea-Bissau, and Peru. So we'll see. I don't think I have anything on my TBR set in any of those countries. There definitely will be options, but yeah, we'll see what happens. And then the final prompt was a book from our Bookish Challenge list. Mine was just to continue some series. And so I do have, and I knew that I would be getting some when I made this list. So I need to double check which ones specifically are on the list, but I know continuing series was like my main challenge thing for what we needed to do for that part of it. So I've got Drop of Corruption, Vilest Things, Cursebound. There's also the American Royals series that would be fun, particularly in the summer, to continue. So I'll be continuing a series for that one. So we've got some good options there. So if I can fit these with any of the prompts, cool. As far as, you know, my TBR game. So if I can fit those on, great. If not, that's fine. Again, I will have a lot of time to read. So yeah, let's go ahead and see what the game has in store for us, and go ahead and turn to some of the roles and get that process started. And then, you know, as we go, we'll talk through my picks for the prompts. So let's go. Okay. We have everything set up here, so let's get things going. Okay, a 2 and 1, 2. The second team spot, which will correspond to this second deck of cards here. Okay, animal on the cover. Okay, cool. So for the first prompt, we got animal on the cover. And I actually have a lot of books with animals on the cover, so this is not hard. I'm gonna go with Immortal by Sue Lynn Tan. You can see the lovely birds. Or is it a single? No, there are a couple. There are a couple birds on the cover there. So I think this is a standalone, but set in the world of Daughter of the Moon Goddess, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, I'm excited for more of her beautiful writing and world building. So that one's gonna go on the TBR. And yeah, all right, next roll. And next roll, a 4. 2, 3, 4, no! Okay, so we have landed on the crash spot. We're going back to the start. There were some ideas for some punishments. I need to go back and look at what those are. And I think I might do like some sort of random wheel to like force my next pick or something. There were some suggestions, so I will get back to y'all on this spot, and we'll incorporate this in the vlogs, I think. Anyway, something will happen for being forced to go back to the beginning. All right, let's start from the beginning. Okay, a 1, fantastic, awesome. Okay, first team spot and the first deck here. Okay, oh, a fairy loot, always handy. So the next prompt we got was fairy loot. Will it actually? And of course I've got plenty of these, so I'm gonna go ahead. I really have a few that are older fairy loots, and they all center around gods, and so I really think it'd be fun to have a reading vlog dedicated to books, like fairy loot books about gods. So one of those that I will put on here is Darker by 4 by June C.L. Tan. I don't remember what this one's about, but yeah, it's a fairy loot that I need to get to from a moment ago, and from the synopsis mentions gods at least, so, and they need to seek, like, one character accidentally transfer their powers to another, and they need to go to talk to the gods to rectify this, I think. Anyway, it has something to do with gods, so it'll fit the theme of that vlog, and is definitely a fairy loot book. So next roll. All right, and next roll, a 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the McLaren spot, which is the 4th team spot, or 4th deck here. 400 plus pages. Okay, should not be a problem. So the next one we got is 400 plus pages. Again, plenty of books that I have that are 400 plus pages. So what I'm gonna go with for this one is The God and the Kamiho. Again, trying to get all these God books on the TBR. This one is just over 400 pages. I think it ends on page 419. So, you know, it works. And I, again, don't remember what this one is about. This is another one that has animals on the cover, so I could have picked that one for that prompt as well. But don't remember what it's about, but it sounded really cute. I'm very excited about it. And so, yeah, we'll include that in that God book vlog. So, next roll. All right, and next roll, a 2. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, rude. So once again, I'll have 2 punishment rolls, or 2 rolls for going back to the beginning. This is great. We're thriving over here. Okay. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, another McLaren spot, which is the 4th deck here. Okay, finish a series. Always good. Okay, so we'll finish a series. All right, next one was to finish a series. Which is always good. We love finishing series. So I believe this is a duology. So the first one is A Letter from the Luminous Deep, I believe. So this is A Letter from the Lonesome Shore, and this is what is this series called? The Something Archives series, and I believe it's going to be a duology, so I'm pretty sure this is finishing the series. And it was such a precious first book. I really had a good time with it. Very weird and just intriguing, and a very different kind of story. It was told in letters, in epistolary format. I wonder if this is the same, or if this is going to be, I imagine it will be. Anyway, I'm excited to continue with this story, so we'll put that on for finishing series. All right, next roll. And next roll, I swear to God, if we go back again. Okay, 4. So we will pass the crash spot. 1, 2, 3, 4. So back to this first deck here for the first team spot. Okay, continuous series. Again, always helpful. Next one got us continuous series, which again, we're always trying to do around here. So very helpful. Although, can we just comment on how rude the game is being right now? But anyway, at least it's letting us to continue a series. So I will put A Drop of Corruption on here. Very excited to continue the series. This is by Robert Jackson Bennett. The first one was The Tainted Cup, or A Tainted Cup, whatever. Anyway, and it's individual mysteries that are wrapped up. There are going to be some threads that I think kind of tie through the series. And it's basically a Sherlock Watson-esque type story set in a fantasy world that is super intriguing. Again, they wrapped up the mystery in the first one, but I'm excited for these 2 to come together again to solve some other mystery. And it'll be a grand time. All right, next roll. All right. Next roll, we got a 2, which is the Alpine spot, or the 3rd team spot. 3rd deck here. Start a series. Perfect. Okay, that's gonna be easy to do as well. So next one was to start a series, which is fine because pretty much every fairy loot that I get will start a series. So we're gonna go ahead and put the final book on for that God vlog. This is The Gods Below by Andrea Stewart. I have read her trilogy, the Drowning Empire series, which I did enjoy. So I'm excited to read the next work from Andrea Stewart, and I believe it starts a completely unrelated series, but again is at least deals somewhat with gods. I mean, gods is in the title, and I think sisters, it follows some sisters that are on opposite sides of a war that I guess also involves gods or something. Anyway, we're going to be putting this in that vlog as well, and that will wrap up at least some of the older fairy loots that I have that center around gods, and I think we'll do a good job of actually reading or finishing up most of the fairy loots that I have that are older, so that'll be a good thing. So hopefully I'll be able to get all of those read pretty early in June. So, all right, next roll. All right, next roll, which is a 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I think for this one we roll, and I'm trying to remember if it's odd, we go back, and if it's even, we go forward, I believe. So let's, if it's odd, go back, if it's even, we move forward. Okay, so we go back 1, which is that spot, and this just means that throughout the month I can switch a book that also fulfills the same prompt. So, not a bad thing. All right, let's hope that we can actually keep moving forward this time. Okay, a 6. Awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and DRS. Oh, no, sorry. Whoops. That is the McLaren spot. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, sorry about that. Accidentally went one further. It's actually the McLaren spot. Final team deck. And this is, oh, another continuous series. I actually put this one a lot since this is one of my main goals this year, so I put that prompt multiple times. Okay. Next one was to continue a series, which again, always want to do. And I'm super excited to continue this series. This is Tea You at the Altar, and this is by Rebecca Thorne. This is the 3rd book. And okay, the first one is Can't Spell Treason Without Tea. I'm trying to remember, is it the Tea and Tomes series? Is that what actually the series is called? And, oh yeah, Tomes and Tea, book 3. Says it right at the top of the book. Anyway, I'm very excited. These 2 main characters, Kianth and Reyna, are so cute. I really love their dynamic. I'm hoping that we'll also be back in the town with the tea/bookshop. We went on a bit of an adventure with the second one, which was a lot of fun, but I also feel like it would be fun to kind of go back to where their shop is. But we'll see. We'll see if they actually go back there or if they, I assume, get married. I didn't even read the synopsis, but I assume this is the one where they're going to get married. So we'll see where that actually takes place, but very much looking forward to this one. And next roll. So we will continue another series. Next roll. 3. Okay, oh, thank goodness. 3. Okay, so this is a radio message. Let's see. Excellent overtake. Roll the dice and move forward. Okay, great. So we will just keep on moving forward. A 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we are going to this McLaren deck a lot. A fantasy. Okay, lovely. All right, next roll got us a fantasy, which again, very easy to do. So we're gonna start with summer books also in June. So I wanted to make sure to get another summary book on. This is Capitana. And this is by Cassandra James, and I got this one when I was in Sweden, and it is just some sort of pirate adventure. You can see like the ship on the cover. She's got an eye patch. It seems very vibey for the summer, so I picked it up as a summer book. I again don't remember the synopsis from when I picked it up, but it seemed like a perfect summer pirate adventure. So yeah, all right. Next roll. And next roll. Oh, a 6. Beautiful. Okay, so we should be able to finish. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are at the checkered flag, so we will add a free pick at the end as well. Okay, so it was kind of rude to us, but you know, we made it through. So final spot, which is a free pick. So we'll just go ahead and put Goliath on there. And I wasn't able to get either of these because these didn't fit any of the prompts, but we'll just go ahead and put Goliath on there as a free pick. And again, I will find a way to come back to the 2 punishment prompts. I say punishment prompts, the 2 prompts for landing on a crash spot and going back to the beginning. Again, rude. But I will figure that out in the vlogs. I need to go back to the suggestions because there were some great suggestions, and I will create some sort of, maybe create a wheel that I can spin and figure out what those 2 books are going to be. I say no problems because I have a lot of time in the month of June to read, but this is currently, I can't even hold it up in frame. Like, this is currently what's on the TBR plus 2 books. And I want to start my summer reading as well. So summer ones will include a bunch of summer fantasies as well as a bunch of summer romances. And I want to get those started as well. So we'll see what happens. And I'm confident that I can make it work. Speaking of, let me do a quick recap of last month. I did read all of the books from last month. So I will just quickly go over that one. So I had Gifted and Talented for a free choice. I did read that. I had Heavenly Bodies for Start a Series, read that. Continuous series, I had Night Bane. I also read Sky Shade in May, so definitely continued that series. For backlist title, I had In the Weeds, and I read that one. I had The Full Moon Coffee Shop for a book with "the" in the title, read that. And I think those were all of the prompts, at least for this game. So very much a success last month, and hopefully June will be as much of a success because I have a lot of reading to do if I'm gonna get through all of the prompts. The board just knew that I needed a lot of reading time to help emotionally process everything, and so it was like, I got you, girl. You're gonna read all of the books and I'm gonna give you all of the prompts. So, I mean, I guess thanks, board, but also no thank you, board. Whatever. We'll see what happens, but please do subscribe for more bookish content, more videos like this where I have my TBR game, and since I will not be employed for half of the month of June, I might also do a mini round, like a sprint race, and have a smaller board where I like do a separate reading vlog with just going through that mini board and picking ones and trying to see if I can get books that are on the TBR during that time. We'll see what happens. Anyway, but subscribe for all of that coming up and all of the reading that I will hopefully get done in the month of June. I will leave my Instagram link down below, which again, I will hopefully be able to be active on since I will have a bit more time. And I will also leave more information about how you can support the Black Lives Matter movement, and I will see you for this crazy reading month that's about to happen. Bye, everyone.